stayed here in the heat.
Just knocked you out of the picture.
You're good. What do you guys got?
So now that we're live, that means we can't ask the really good questions.
No, those were already answered.
I can't answer the quarterback questions. I don't want to burn my story. So you guys like nuggets and info, and I can't provide it if my sources are all dead.
Who's the starting tailback?
The starting tailback.
Who's going to get the most carries through the year?
Well, that's two different. There's two different questions.
Yeah.
Starting tailback against Minnesota will be Master T. What do you say?
Mine Williams.
Okay.
Yes.
And most
Meatball.
most carries on the year, I'll go with Trey Henderson.
I hope it's Trey Henderson because he is a monster and he runs different than all those other guys.
Is he really
a lot
that
more
good?
ability. Yep. Absolutely.
He's special.
Is he better than Beanie? Better than?
More of a speed.
I don't know if he's better than
Dalvin Cook type.
Beanie. Who you talking
Beanie
about?
was just a monster.
You talking about Trey?
Yeah, he's a Dalvin Cook type.
Yeah. He's a monster.
That would be my explanation.
Who's got the next question? You guys ready? All you golfers had a rough day of golfing today.
What about Tyler Smith? He ain't saying anything.
That's the first time ever.
Who's actually the best receiver between Olave,
Dude, you're not even in the screen.
Garrett Wilson, and Jackson Smith-Njigba?
The most talented receiver, in my opinion, is Jackson Smith-Njigba, and I think he will end up being drafted higher than Wilson and Olave. His slot will be higher. What do you think?
Garrett Wilson. More explosive, better deep ball mechanics. I love Garrett Wilson. I'd take him over any of those guys.
Uh-oh, Tyler Smith.
Tyler Smith. Who do you say?
Other wide receivers?
Yeah.
I mean, right now, I would say
Shouldn't he be
Olave
sitting
is
here
the
to
best
answer
college
this?
wide receiver. I mean, the best college, but the best long term is JSN.
Good. All right.
Dude.
There you go.
But
I
my
concur.
question is, by what game will Corey Simon be starting at linebacker?
Cody
Cody?
Sorry.
Hopefully game one. If they've got eyeballs, which I think they do. I think he's really good.
He is
He's
really
He's
good.
explosive.
an absolute dude.
He's really
Yeah.
good, and the people ahead of him have done nothing, and they've been there forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Mitchell, Gant, Pope are not young kids. They've been there a long time,
He's-
done nothing. So
He's the guy that I can't wait to see play.
Yeah.
He's explosive.
No
He's
doubt.
fast.
No
and
doubt.
We didn't have that last year in the middle. So
Tommy Eichenberg's healthy; he can play.
Yeah.
But the Ignatius linebackers, we got to be healthy.
we've had terrible luck with the Ignatius linebackers.
Yep.
God bless some of those kids, but man, they've been hurt.
Didn't
a lot.
Urban say the best ability is availability?
Durability, availability.
Yeah. Okay, question in the back. Young lad there. Young
lad, let's
junior
hear it.
high. Yeah, did you get out of school early today?
Yes, I did. So
Stand up and ask your.
I
Oh, you
can't
are
say his-
standing.
I
Okay.
can't say his last name. So if Powell, the kid transfer from USC, gets the waiver,
Okay.
does he make an impact this year?
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah.
I think he. I don't think he's the player that he was before. He got hurt. Great kid. Will provide great leadership in a room. A lot of guys haven't ever played before. He's played a lot of football so far. So, but impact on the field, I don't know if he can beat out those guys. I hope he can. I mean, he is a great kid. I will say that.
It's hard to lead from the bench, though. I will
What's
say
his
that.
eligibility? 1 year, or does he have 2?
I think he's got 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think with COVID, everybody's got extra year that
Right,
you're not
right.
even really counting. So that's why Tate Martell has like 4 years left. So he's been calling since like 2009.
Yeah.
4 years and
That
3 more
was
colleges.
that was Kirk Barton that said that. Not Bill Green.
Oh, it's fine. Hi, Tate. I hope you're watching. You're one of our subscribers, maybe. What else you guys got? This is
Greg
great.
Young. Who's the starting?
Hey, Fitzeric, you got one?
Greg Young, impact at linebacker?
He has to be. He's a freak. We need fast guys that are hitters. Like Cody Simon's that. He's that. Like, we need guys like that because after watching last year, we just weren't. We had 2 super athletes with Pete and Baron Browning, but then like Justin Hilliard's not a great runner, and then I'm not even gonna bring up top. Next, but what's your thoughts on that, Bank?
I don't know if he's a football player. We'll see. I mean, the measurables, in the underwear Olympics, he's going to win the gold. I mean, it's over. But, man, you got to play football, and he's moved around a lot of positions all his life. So we'll see. I don't think he's Cody Simon, but athletically he is. So if he's a football player, then Craig Young's going to play because he's got all the measurables you want.
Who's got the next one?
Yeah, question.
Good.
Who's going to win the long snapper?
position.
Well, ever since Demetrius McCready's left, that has been lacking. That has been lacking. They haven't had one. We need to get another year for McCready's. I think things would shore up then.
Yeah, I hope Rowan. I give it to Rowan because he played linebacker, man. Rowan McCullough played linebacker in the spring game, so at least he's somewhat of an athlete. But yeah, he's a strap to do. I love my long snappers because the only one, my boy Chucky Norman blew my knee out at Penn State in 05. We ended up losing that game, which sucked. But yes, I like my long snappers to be strong and stout, not little and skinny like Chucky was. They go flying when they get by the big D tackles. What you got, Todd?
Todd.
I got two. What was the one thing Ryan Day learned from the national championship game? And then what's the offense going to look like? Last year, a couple years before that, we're getting the ball out a little bit quicker.
Yeah, the first one, what he learned is, you got to get more linebackers on the field. That's the four. I think six. I think
Put 8 of them on.
That 2-6-3, I think, is the way to go. You got to get more linebackers on the field. You got to get less speed on the field. You got to be slower and less athletic.
Yes.
Can I ask part of that though? Was that because they didn't think they had DBs to play? They didn't trust.
I don't
DBs
know. It was, I think, we love Kerry Combs. Okay,
Yeah.
right? Our favorite dude.
Treats is great.
We love him. If he was here right now, you guys would love the guy. He is like a lot of these college coaches. They are not what their persona is on the field or what you think. Kerry Combs is exactly who you think he is.
He is.
But that was a mistake. You can't do that. They went into that game. Their objective was, we have to stop this run. And are you kidding me? Like, Alabama didn't run the ball on anyone all year, but they threw it all over everybody. I would have put 5 or 6 DBs on the field.
That was free money.
Every time they handed the ball off, it was like, thank you. Please hand the ball off. And if you look at the stats, I think Master T got more rushing yards than Najee Harris did in that game. They did not run the ball in Ohio State. So, hey, mission accomplished there. You give up 50-some points. I thought it was a horrible game plan. There's no way to defend. There's no way they can legitimately say, oh, we had the right plan there. It was bad. But and you paid for it. And now you're talking this year, they're talking about this 4-2-5. And that's where they should have been against Alabama. It should have been a 4-2-5 look. With Lathan Ransom played a lot against Clemson and looked really good. It was that extra DB. So why take a DB off the field? Add him in there. Play him. Put
Was it a
5
scheme
DBs.
issue or a personnel problem?
When they lost Tommy Togai, then you had to put Haskell over the nose, and he got obliterated by that backup center who couldn't block anyone. Oh, seriously, do you remember we watched the guy against Notre Dame, Owens? He couldn't block anyone. He can block anybody in this room against Notre Dame, and then against Haskell, he obliterated Haskell. So you couldn't have figured that was going to happen. But I think Ohio State had enough talent to play. Well, Florida darn near beat them like a couple of weeks before. You tell me Ohio State doesn't have Florida's talent? You have to make that a shootout. We're going up and down the field. You're going up and down the field. We're going to match everything you do. And Ohio State couldn't.
Yeah.
They just Justin wasn't real good.
Somebody got hurt the first play.
Okay, wait. Before all the excuse injuries. Okay, how about this one? What if Jalen Waddle couldn't walk in that game? What if he was full speed? What do they score then? 70? Wait a minute. Devontae Smith played half a game. What if Devontae Smith plays the whole game? What do they score then? 80.
Sure.
All-American center Dickerson doesn't play in that game. What if he plays? What do they score then? 90? Jordan Battle doesn't play at safety. He gets thrown out. No, it doesn't work that way. Alabama was more crippled in that game than Ohio State was.
Yeah, I'm not even making that.
And they still won by 30.
I'm just saying that.
It means nothing to me.
Sermon sees holes that were there.
I like
Not flying with me.
He still ran the ball. Yeah.
You had to find a way.
So the second half of this question was, what's the offense going to look like?
Yeah, what's the offense?
Well, it's going to depend on the quarterback. You know what I mean? If the quarterback is decent, he doesn't even have to be an All-American. If he's decent.
Because we're trying to go down the field, and Justin held it. Then Tom Allen's running 8 guys at us. If we get out quick against that defense, you're going to kill it.
The quarterback's got to be good.
Athletes the ball,
Right. The O-line's going to be really good. They got a stable of runners. They got the best wide receivers in the country. So if the O-line if the QB is just functional, they're going to score a ton of points, especially in the Big Ten. They're going to run all over those teams. It'll be bad.
Yeah.
They'll obliterate them.
I think we'll do a lot of 3-by-1. 3 receivers over here, put a record over here.
Yeah.
Put the running.
Yeah.
If we have Trey in, who's quicker to the edge, you're going to run a lot of zone stuff into the short side of the field. Put those receivers on the wide side of the field. That's something they did in the spring that I thought was really good because those guys were in combination routes. and there's always one that's scot-free, which is great. And I think that a guy that's going to be underrated, who you're not going to hear his name a lot, who could make an impact, is Cade Stover, because like Luke Farrell was a 5th-round pick because he's an inline blocking tight end. Because Rucker can't block anybody, he can't block any of you guys, let alone a defensive end in college. But
That was Kirk. Kirk said that.
I love Jeremy. You look great. Your abs are tight. It's all good. You're going to catch a lot of balls in the NFL, but he can't block anybody. So you put the guy in line like Luke Farrell or Cade, and then you put him at the wing, and that's how it works. Because Ryan Day loves that wing tight end thing, and Urban never played 2 tight ends ever. But Ryan Day loves that formation for some reason. I don't know if it's an NFL thing or if it's a matchup thing, but. Cade Stover's a guy that I think could be that inline blocker to obliterate that edge. So
Webb's actually near him saying that he thinks offenses are going back.
I love that. Like I love when he shares stuff like that. How he thinks it's going to go back to more 2-back stuff because teams have recruited so many smaller, fast guys. So now if you get some fullbacks and 2-back stuff, all of a sudden you can pulverize those guys. It's real cyclical. Like we don't really see the read option anymore. We don't see the tempo anymore. Because when Tom Herman took over, we were going jet like all the time, going fast, and like that died because the umpire started standing over the ball.
Yeah.
So you can't like go right to the line, and they let teams sub, but it's real interesting how he says it's going to get back to that 2-back stuff, and it'd be interesting to see if they use somebody as a fullback. I mean, they don't really have a fullback on the roster, but if they use Cade or they use
Mine woman.
bowling ball, meatball, whatever, use meatball. He said that, mine, not me. Bowling ball, meatball.
He won't want to do it, but he could do it.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's like Carlos Hyde.
Or you can play
Carlos Hyde is a
split.
5-star fullback.
Just play split backs. No one has to be a fullback, tailback. Just have
Archie
them split.
Griffin was a fullback.
There you go. Jim Brown was a fullback.
So,
yeah, let's never do it. So there you go.
Okay.
Paterick, you're next. Come on, man. Oh, big shout out to David Paterick. Give me a clap. Come on, my boy. My man, so proud. Proud pastor of Youngstown Country Club. I've never heard more people say how much fun they had, how this is a great day of golf. Thank you, David Paterick. You're the guy that organized this because we can always have it out in outer space and say, oh, let's do a scoop golf out here. But until someone puts the rubber to the road and says, we're going to do it on Tuesday, have this many foursomes, here's the sign-up sheets, here's the name tags, I got you. It doesn't get done without David Paterick. I'm just telling you guys, you're the man, you're the best, you're one of my best friends. Appreciate you, brother.
I need to
Don't start crying. You're on my
don't cry.
podcast, but we love you to death, bro.
So how are we gonna take care of this? We were talking about it before. People have asked, how do I pay? I don't want any money from anybody. Okay, but we've got these charities. We've got to figure it out. Now it doesn't have to be done tonight.
Right.
So,
We can put something out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're talking about splitting it between Paris Johnson and Harry Miller's charities.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, and I think
Yeah.
that's what we're going to do.
And I reached out to the Guy Scott, but I literally texted Ron Day about it, and he said he'd get with compliance, but I haven't heard back from them because he's a little busy. He's got camp in
So
2
guys, I
days.
don't know if you know it. Bill brought this up. G. Scott.
Yeah,
His
G
mother
Scott.
passed
Yeah,
away.
not Guy,
Mother
right.
passed away.
She owns a restaurant. They want to keep that restaurant going, and her
Trying to
legacy.
keep the restaurant going
Yeah.
and stuff. And that,
But we
that's
don't know
near
if
you.
we can contribute to that or not. We're
Yeah.
not sure if that's
We're not trying to get put on the naughty list for being nice guys.
Again,
Again, I've been on there. many
I've never
times.
been on there.
Can we
As
just
in-
do it the pay it forward tab and
Yeah, I mean that's
scoop
We'll
golf
figure
outings,
something
you know,
out. We'll have something the next day or so. We really need to make sure that it is something that really supports these kids. You know, we get a lot of enjoyment out of these kids, and they're able to make money now, and I think it's great. And David, I wanted to say another thing. We'll cover Kirk's ears here because he's my boss, but I played about 75 rounds of golf this year already.
how would you play 247?
About 3 or 4. You know, I actually respected those bosses, and I listened to them. So, but anyway, this was the most fun round of golf I played this year. This was the most fun. I wish we played 36 today. I had so much fun. Great guys. I mean, I had the most. It was the most fun round I've had this year, and I play a lot of golf. So
I'm grateful for that. And I was telling somebody earlier, Youngstown, if you're from Ohio, you know that Youngstown's not really thought of very well.
No.
Especially from the
No.
Cleveland,
No.
Columbus, or Cincinnati and all that stuff. But we've got a gem here.
Oh, yeah.
The Youngstown Country Club is beautiful. I brought people from all over the country that belong to Augusta. We've got a connection with Oakmont. They love this place.
No,
Hey,
it's great
we
course.
can do Augusta next. That's cool. All right.
I mean,
Who's hooking that one up?
Him. Watch, he'll do it. He'll say, hey, Bill, we got to fly down to Georgia.
my second home.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anybody got anything? Okay, yeah.
I got two. A pass.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So who's D back this year that you guys think can make a big difference that maybe no one's talking about yet? And two, it's probably more for Kirk. What was the game when you played that you're like, holy shit, we actually won that game? Where maybe you guys were behind, or you didn't think maybe going into it you had that big shot?
Answer that one first.
Okay, probably like 06 Michigan, just because we couldn't stop them. Like literally, our defense. All year our defense was kind of fool's gold. We just didn't play anybody that was good. You know, like if we would have played the 05 schedule with the 06 defense, we probably would have lost 3 or 4 games. But like, you know, they ran the Denver zone that year, like the Denver zone scheme, and we couldn't stop them. They scored 39, and we kept scoring, and then they kept giving one up, and we weren't used to that from our defense because our defense was always like locked up. They always carried us because we were so crappy on offense for so many years. Like it was like, all right, we just got to score 21 and we'll win. Like, but yeah, we had to score 42 that night, and I was just hoping we'd get a stop at some point. I think we sold our soul that night, and then we didn't get it done against Florida. But you know, our soul was gone. But beating Michigan that night was something where, you know, it was such a crazy game because I mean there was a countdown timer on ABC all week, and you know it was just one of those ones where it's like you just had to win it. You know, you don't want to you never want to lose to Michigan, and like especially like my senior year, like I definitely don't want to lose to them because you never get to play them again. It's like, you know, when you lose a game of basketball to your brother or whatever, like you always want to go play them again so you can beat them and have bragging rights until the next game. But like when you lose that last one, you know, you never want to lose it. I mean, I was real nervous about the 07 game, but I think Legend Cavazos could be a guy that could, as a second corner behind Sevyn Banks, could be a guy because he's athletic. He got humbled last year pretty good by Olave, came in kind of big-headed, and they kind of ate his lunch in camp and kind of showed him that he wasn't really as good as he thought he was. And he's turned it up a little bit. In spring, he looked good. I think Ryan Ross is a super freak. He might be too big to play corner. He's like 6'2", biggest corner Terry Cummings ever coached. But he's athletic, and he caught a really bad pass from Jack Miller in the spring game where he threw it kind of right to him. But
that was a good
he
catch.
made the catch. I mean, you know, so it's going to be interesting to see that second corner. And plus, there's some stud freshmen come in. So who do you think?
Yeah, I thought they were so weak. They like playing that single high safety, and I thought they were so weak back there last year. I thought it was terrible. And Cavazos kind of played that slot thing. I'd like to see him as the single high safety. I take it back. Lathan Ransom. I mean, you got Cavazos on my mind. Lathan Ransom, I think, would be perfect for that single high safety. Is a little bit more athletic, maybe a little bit faster. Jordan Fuller, who's really freaking good. Jordan was one of the most underrated players ever played for Ohio State in the last 6-7 years. So I think Lathan Ransom could play that spot. And after you watch Marcus Hooker, try to play it last year unsuccessfully. Yeah. I mean, somebody's got to. If you're going to run that single high, your safety back there has to be the smartest guy in the field, and he has to be very athletic. And that was not the case.
And you can't throw it over his head. For the love of God, don't let it be deep as the deepest.
Can't happen.
Yeah.
So, but I'd like to see Lathan play there, and I'm not sure that's what they want to do. But I think he would be the most talented guy to play there. I would love to see it, but they know more than I know.
For now.
What's the running back rotation going to look like?
I think Teague starts just out of senior. It doesn't mean, just because you run him out there for the first 2 or 3 plays doesn't mean he ever goes back in again, ever. But I think he's earned that. So I think he'll get the first carry, first series, whatever. And then, Trey Henderson, if he can block, if he knows all the blitz pickups, if he knows all the audibles, if he can catch the football, if he can do all this stuff, he's going to play. The real deal. The minute that he can do all the things they need a running back to do, other than take the ball from here and put it over there in about 4 seconds, he can do that. And they know he can do that. But all the other things, you can't get the quarterback killed. You got to know the offense. You got to know when he gets those things down. The minute he gets those down, it could be tomorrow, or it could be in October. But the minute he gets those down, he's the dude, and the other ones are watching. They're watching him carry the ball. He's that special. Don't you think? He's he's Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, from everything from spring, it's just like he's the guy that can roll, something front side, roll it backside, and actually get the yardage, and then he'll square up on a safety and put it on him. He's not scared at all. He is a physical dude, which is weird because you think when guys are really fast, you don't think they're physical, but he's really physical. Yeah. So and not afraid.
210.
He's 205, I think. Yeah.
He's built. He's built like Saquon. Not quite as big as Saquon because Saquon was a freak. But I always saw Saquon in person as a junior, the big game where JT came back. But on field when I saw Saquon, I was like, he's different. He's like Corey Dillon. Like Corey Dillon just had these calves that were out of this world. But
So what could happen, and it'll be really a lot of fun, is he could get 2 carries against Minnesota, bust off a 50-yard run, and then next week bust off like a 60-yard run and still get 1 or 2 carries a game, and the message boards will be, what is this idiot doing? And because we won't know what's going on in practice when he doesn't know the offense, he can't block, he doesn't pick up blitzes, he doesn't know the audibles. Well, you can't put him on the field then, but we don't know that, so you guys will be going berserk. Like, why isn't this guy playing every play?
Yeah, but I think Tony Alford as well as I do. He's going to get him up to speed really fast.
I mean, it's easy to say, but you've seen guys that it takes a year, 2.
But he
doesn't
doesn't seem like a dull sword. Like
no, not at all.
Like
but I mean, there's
I've had to coach some
dull
dull swords before, man. It's not fun.
I mean, let's face it, you're not the brightest bulb in the jar. I mean, but you
started as a freshman. And I signed his check on the front. He signs it on the back. But no, it's I just think Trey's special. I think Mayan's probably number 2. I mean, Teague's gonna be like 2A just because of seniority. He's still not the same with the Achilles. He's not all the way back. Boltall's gotten in shape, man. He's lost 30 pounds, maybe.
Well, we saw him at summer camp this year, and I was like blown away because I've known Ryan since he was a sophomore in high school. He's always been overweight. They would list him at like 230, and he wasn't 230 since 7th grade.
He's like Carlos.
He's fat. I mean, he was
like
fat,
Carlos,
out of shape. So I was never high on him
Yeah.
because I don't like those fat, out of shape, slovenly running backs. I just don't like them kind of dudes.
Yeah.
And then I saw Mayan like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, and we were talking to Alford. And I was like, holy crap, look at this kid. Yeah, I have a total different opinion on Mayan Williams now.
See, that's a big benefit that, like, when we go to these Ohio State camps, is like we get to see. There's a lot of times players are finishing up their conditioning for the day, and they go out and throw and catch, and you get a glimpse of some of these guys. Like, I mean, Rutgers running around, he looks great. Some of these other receivers, the younger guys, you get to see. Like, I bet Jackson Smith and Jigba, and he introduced himself as Jackson Smith. I was like, who is Jackson Smith? I'm like, oh, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I get
the
it.
Ninja.
Yeah, the Ninja. I call him the Ninja, and he loved that. So it's like, put that on a hoodie, man. You'll sell him for
talked to
$50
Thayer Mumford. We talked to Mumford for an hour.
Paris.
Yeah.
I talked to Kevin Wilson for probably an hour.
And that's what camp is the best.
Yeah, it is.
Camp
Because
is so
these
much
coaches
fun.
are all chill because they know they got vacation coming in like 2 weeks, and they get a month off, and you really get to talk to the guys a little bit of a lesser heightened sense of urgency. Like, if we went camp and like this opens on Tuesday, they don't have anything to do with you. They don't even look at you.
Yeah.
But it's
I would say too, I've probably known every coach that's coached at Ohio State since 2000. You probably have too.
Mm-hmm.
This group, I think, is the best group of dudes. I mean, just
They are.
good. And I would never. I don't have to say that. I don't have to kiss anybody's butt. I'm too old to worry about that.
Yeah.
And there have been guys that haven't been really good dudes, but these guys are so awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, from top to bottom. I mean, Ryan Day is probably the nicest guy in the world.
He's awesome.
I mean, and then Corey Dennis calls us a scoop mafia, Heartline. Yeah, I knew Heartline since he was 15 years old. But these guys really are. They're a great group of guys, and I think that's why they're recruiting so well. Because I think, as a parent, I think you could trust your kid with these guys.
Yeah, Wilson.
They
Like,
really are.
Wilson's
Kevin
son's a
Wilson's
freshman there now as a walk-on. He's going to be a good player from Olentangy.
Yeah, see, I want Kevin. I really want him to get another head coaching job. I think it would be bad for Ohio State, but I think he's earned it. He deserves it. He's earned it. He got screwed at Indiana, so I think I would love to see him redeem himself, get a head coaching job. It'd be bad for Ohio State for sure, but yet I want the guy to do well. I want the guy to do well. I like people, and Kevin.
You guys would love Wilson, man. He's the best.
Special.
Oh my God. He's
Tony Alford,
yeah,
special.
Tony's
Al Washington, special. Larry Jones. I mean, we can go right down the list. I don't leave anyone out. I mean,
when I was camping out of the airport, I was talking to
dudes.
LJ, and he was the best, man. He had these crazy shoes on, and it was great. What do you got, Fulnator?
How long's Nicky gonna stay around Alabama? When's he gonna retire?
He doesn't look like a guy on the way out to
Ask
me.
Bama Bank.
He don't look like a guy on the way out to me. He looks like he's having more fun now than he's ever had. Do you think he looks like a guy headed to retirement?
What's he going to do in retirement?
He died.
It's like, what Barry Bryant did when he retired? He died 2 months later. 2 months later, he died.
No, I think Nick Saban can go another 4, 5, 6, whatever. I mean, if his health holds out, and he looks younger now, he's got to be having surgery or he's having something done.
Nip tuck.
Because he looks awesome, He looks better now than he did at Michigan State. So I think he can go a while. I really do, barring a health issue. I mean,
He had a full head of gray hair at Michigan State.
yeah, now he's got that brown, those tips, man. He looks good now.
Chestnut.
Just for men, like that. That
it's working too.
Yeah.
It's working.
Greatest coach of all time.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes.
What?
Greatest coach of all time.
Oh God, yeah.
He's got
That's
6
close. Yeah.
championships in the last 13 years.
Yeah.
Ohio State is an elite, powerful program. They got 3 in the last 60 years. So I mean, come on.
7 ever.
I mean,
Yeah.
dude, it's over. It's over. And he's going to win more too. Nick Saban will win. He'll win another. He might win this year.
That's why Urban wants to win a Super Bowl, so he can.
Yeah.
So he can,
Yeah. Good luck, Jackson.
Duval.
Yeah, no, Nick Saban. I mean, it's another level. I mean, it's
Well, speaking of
it's
just
sick.
college football in general, did Ryan Day give the college football world the Enigma machine to crack the Venables code?
I mean, they kicked their ass. I
They
mean,
covered up those signals,
Don't get
man.
the signals, get the line,
Magically,
call
we
the
don't
I
have
mean,
the plays.
there's more to it than that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of a slap in the
Yeah, but you're
face.
going to see all the other teams.
I think it's a slap in the face to the old lineman, to the quarterback. I
Yeah.
mean, they kicked their ass.
Yeah.
They whipped it. It wasn't
Well-
stealing signals or covering signals. Call what you want to call. You know, we'll tell you what we're going to
I
run
would make
if
the
you want to
argument
know.
they did that the year before, too. They just didn't get in the end zone. They
Well,
physically whipped the shit out of Clemson that
They
game, too.
did. That
That was a
You
tough
know,
one.
championship game, close championship games are going to come down to 2 or 3 plays. You know what I mean? You got to make those plays. You know what I mean? Ohio State leading the ball. You got the lead in the ball with 3 minutes to go. At that point, you do not give that ball back. I don't give a crap. You ain't giving it back to them unless you score a touchdown. Then you can have it.
Yeah.
That's the only way you get it back. Well, they couldn't do it. They weren't good enough. So they punt down to the 6-yard line. You can't give up a 94-yard drive with the best defense in the country. They went through them like they were playing Akron. That can't happen in 4 plays. Well, then you get the ball back again. You can erase all of your problems here. You got to take it and score. You can't run the wrong route in a championship game. You can't do that. You know what I mean? And mistake. Well, you're not winning a championship that way.
Yeah.
So, you know, they were good enough to beat Clemson for sure. They were probably the better team on the field that day, all day. But when it's close, they're making plays, you're screwing up, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And that's life in football.
It really is.
So we're not going to see Oklahoma Venables, is what you're saying, going forward.
You
You're
know,
still going to keep their dominance of the ACC.
yeah, they're good. They would probably be my pick today to win it all this year. I think Clemson's going to be really good. I think that quarterback's out of this world.
Really?
I do.
Really?
I would probably pick them. Their defense, the whole defense is back.
That's the problem.
They got guys. Oh well, line up with your defense. Yeah, have fun with those guys.
And they got Skolsky coming.
Yeah, have fun with those guys. We got good news for you, Tyler. Your whole defense is back.
Right.
The bad news is all them dudes are back.
Right.
Skolsky's back again.
Yeah. No, I think they're going to be loaded. You know, the
He played with Kirk.
Clemson Georgia game is what, week 1 or week 2? Week 1. I mean, that's an elimination game possibly.
We're gonna get Big Dave on the podcast.
We do have
Big Dave wants to come on our podcast.
He loves
He
us.
was there with his son, the defensive end.
And then the big quarterback.
Yeah, the big quarterback
Yeah.
is like nephew. This
So,
quarterback's
yeah.
like 6'7", Nico. And I was like, would you come on our podcast for Buckeye Scoop? He's like,
That's a
I'd
good
love
deal.
to. I was like, that was great.
He
Yeah.
offered that Nico kid, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes, he
Oh,
could
yeah.
be. He could be the QB in the 2023 class.
Yeah.
That won't surprise me if
Yeah,
they
he
get him.
is a tower, man. He's 6'7". I was like,
He
holy
loved
cow.
Ohio State too. I could see them getting him.
We got Mateo.
Mateo has a chance
Mateo's
to
nasty,
be.
man.
Mateo could be the 4th Bosa.
The next fourth
Yeah,
Bosa.
the next fourth
Ben
Bosa.
Tarek's the fourth Bosa at this point, man.
He's the first Bosa.
Yeah, he is. He's the first Bosa in terms of net worth. So
Yeah.
Nicky gets that second
He's our
contract.
guy.
He is.
Yeah, no, that Uyangalele's little brother he's special.
He
What
might
did you
be-
think of
I
him?
think he might be the best player in that class. Or pretty close. I mean, he was watching him run around cones. I mean, it's not much. He didn't even do one-on-one pass rush, but he's a big athletic dude, man.
Oh, man.
And that quarterback's probably close to the Heisman favorite. I mean, his brother, DJ.
I thought he was amazing last year.
Yeah. So I mean, they're going to be good
Yep.
again this year.
I think they're going to be real good.
Yeah.
Harrison going to see any field? Harrison Jr. or Marvin Harrison Jr.
He has to.
Oh my God! I
He
don't
has
see
to.
how he doesn't. And I know there's a million guys ahead of him that are great. I mean, it's the thing is you're going to have either Marvin Harrison, Emeka Egbuka, Julian Fleming. One of those guys is going to be the 6th receiver.
This is insane.
I mean,
Yeah.
and you think like Georgia,
Yeah, they'd be the number one guy
Florida,
in Georgia. Yeah,
Penn
exactly.
State could have called them and said, "Get out of there, come
Yeah.
here." And that's a testament to Heartline.
Yeah.
Because all that stuff goes on behind the scenes. You're not supposed to tamper with. Everybody does,
Yeah.
and they were telling Julian Fleming, "You're going to go back to Ohio State and be number 6. Come here and be our number 1 guy." He
Yeah.
stayed. That's how much respect they have for Heartline and Day to develop them. And Julian Fleming's ultimate goal is get to the NFL.
Yeah.
So he stayed right where he was, because he feels in his heart that's going to get him to the NFL.
Yeah.
So staying on that same theme, the quarterback room, the Ewers stick, I think that's how you pronounce it, right?
Ewers.
Yeah.
Ewers. Does he stick? And
Yes.
because I'm hearing Stroud, and they're not even talking about this 5-star McCord.
They should. They should be talking
So-
about 5-star McCord.
Because I'm not hearing a lot about him.
No,
And
you
then
should.
Jack Miller is everybody's saying he's the guy that's going to transfer. I mean, of those 4, who's the guy that transfers?
Well, 2 of them.
Probably
I think 2 are
Yeah.
going. I think 2 will go. The battle is Stroud and Miller. One of them, I don't see both of them graduating from Ohio State. And then you're going to have the Ewers-McCord battle, and I don't see both of them graduating from Ohio State. And that's fine. Let them leave. Ryan Day will go get the
Another
next
one.
Ewers. He'll go
Yeah.
get the next. He'll get Jaden Davis. I mean,
Yeah.
so you never worry about having too much talent.
Yeah.
It's when you ain't got enough. I mean, then you
Yeah.
got to scheme around people and try to fix things
Yeah.
and fool people. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So never worry about having too much talent.
The fact that Burrows left and won the Heisman is almost a positive. Hey,
It
you
is
come to
almost,
Ohio State,
yeah.
get developed, and still go somewhere else and win
Yeah.
the Heisman.
Yeah.
It doesn't work out
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Be the
You know
number
what I
one
mean?
number one pick of the draft.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got a good story for you on Joey Burrow. His dad, Jimmy, coached at OU.
Yeah.
Great guy. We all know him. And he would be at all the Ohio State camps. He would be there. There's 600 kids at camp. Ohio State's only looking at 10 of them out of the 600. Well, he's probably looking at 150 of them. And we would talk to him all the time. And after Joey's junior year at LSU, where he was okay. I mean,
No,
he was okay. He was
seventh round,
decent.
maybe.
And I talked to him and I said, "How's Joey doing?" He said, "He's doing great." He said, "I'm telling him, we're going to get that master's degree. I think he's got a shot to get drafted." He goes, "I think he'll be in a camp. He's got a chance to make a team, but if not, he's got to be prepared. He wants to go into coaching and I'll help him and blah."
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you're talking 3 months later,
Yeah.
that kid's worth $40 million.
Yeah, he found
It was
the
sick.
genie. You rubbed the lamp and said,
Oh,
"Okay,
my
give me all the
God.
talent in the world and make Jamar Chase the best receiver in college football
Yeah,
history."
give me
Like,
Justin Jefferson.
and Justin Jefferson,
Yeah.
best O-line in the country.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that conversation with Joey's dad. I mean, it was like, wow.
He's like this close to,
I mean, they were talking about his job.
yeah, being a GA.
Crazy.
I know it's
It's
And then he
crazy.
ends
Yeah.
up a Bengal. It's just like the cherry on top.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
and he gets his receiver.
And he's
Jamar
he's
Chase.
good
I
too.
mean,
He's
yeah,
really good.
awesome.
Joey's really
Yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna, if the Bengals can build around him, he's gonna be an All-Pro.
I
Yeah.
wish they had.
You know,
You
they
wish they
got
took the tackle.
No, I just wish they had kept, what's his name, Dalton around for another year, sat Joey on the bench, let him learn. That's what I thought they should have done from the beginning.
He wasn't
'cause we
overwhelmed
had-
by that job at all. He was ready to go.
Yeah,
He was ready to
It's
play.
no, it's just he had no well line. He was
Yeah.
gonna get killed. He was gonna get hurt.
Anybody else got anything?
Well, they mentioned. Oh, sorry.
What you got?
Difference between Ohio State and Penn State numerically. If Ohio State's a 10, where's Penn State in talent?
Man, a couple of years ago, I thought they were really, sniffing right up Ohio State's tailpipe there, and they were because they would play them. Those Penn State Ohio State games were so great. A couple of years ago, I mean, those were even games. Those,
17 game? My dad died that day.
oh
I'm
man,
on the
wow.
phone on the ESPN app watching it. We're losing. It's like, well, what a up day
Yeah.
this was. We get home, and my daughter's in town, and they win the game, and we just ball.
Those were
I'll never forget
classics.
that day.
Yeah.
I mean, and
They were
if you
good.
remember, the one that they lost, Penn State lost at home when Haskins brought him back, and that's when James Franklin went to the press conference afterwards and went
We're not
freaking
elite.
crazy.
We're not elite.
He said, "We're tired. We're tired of being great." Well, it worked. You're not great anymore. He said, "We don't want to be great anymore. We want to be elite." Well, you're not great anymore. Their recruiting has been so horrible. Now they're coming back in this class. But the last couple classes, they couldn't get Pennsylvania kids to sign with them. And I don't know why, but they went through a real lull there. So,
You think Shiano's going to hurt them?
no, it's Rutgers. Would you go to Rutgers over Penn State? Ain't going to happen. Shiano's great, too, by the way. He's awesome. But there's a ceiling on all these schools. And that's why Kirk and I like someone like Matt Campbell so much. I talk to the coaches. I know all the Iowa State coaches. You probably know
him
most
since
of
he
them.
was 15, right?
When Iowa State runs out of their tunnel, and Oklahoma runs out of that tunnel, and the Iowa State coaches look at them kids and think, "Oh, I would have taken him. I'd take him. I'd take him. I'd take him. I want him. Man, I'd take that guy." 1 through 85, Iowa State would take every single one of those kids. And then Iowa State runs out of their tunnel, and the Oklahoma coaches are snickering like, "We don't want any of these dudes. We want any of these kids stink." And then it's 27-26 in the fourth quarter with about 2 minutes to go. And it's like, how can this be? How can this be? You don't have one guy on your team that would play for the other team. You're supposed to lose 42-0 like Iowa State always has lost to them. They ain't happening now. I mean, Matt Campbell can coach. I mean, just as a flat-out coach. Now, he's going to get a big job at some point.
Yeah.
Can he recruit at the level he's going to need to recruit at? You know, because you want to start beating Ohio State, Clemson, Bama, Georgia, well, you're barking up a different tree.
Yeah.
But for him to be able to beat Texas, beat Oklahoma, compete, you know, win 9-10 games in that league with his kids, it's unbelievable. Nobody wants to go to Ames, Iowa. He doesn't have one kid on his team that Texas or Oklahoma offered. But he beats them, and that's, you know.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable to
And
see the type of kid comes out of this tunnel compared to the kids that come out of that tunnel, and here this game is tied with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah. And sometimes it's easier to be the hunter than to be the
Right.
hunted.
I agree
'Cause,
with that. I agree with that.
I went to, I think it was in 15 or 16. It was Furman's second year. They played Oklahoma. Well, he was
Out
in
there.
Houston. Yeah, it was at the Texans Stadium. In Houston, you know, I'm down there on the field for warm-ups, and I watched, like, Oklahoma warm up. They've got Orlando Brown Jr., Cody Ford, Joe Mixon, Baker Mayfield,
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb, Marquise Brown. Like, I mean,
Houston's got dudes that
yeah,
go to
Houston's got Ed Oliver, and that's it. So you're looking there, and you're just like, holy cow! And then they win, and you're just like, I mean, you just don't know. You look at the two teams warming up, and the one looks like Oklahoma looks like an NFL football team, and then you know Houston's got one NFL guy, or you know maybe two. I think the corner went first round of the Bengals,
Yeah.
but I mean, it looked like Lions versus Christians, but then you play the game, and then it's not that; it's the opposite. And sometimes it's like the culture thing is being able to sneak up, and then you go to Texas, and now you're the hunted, and everybody wants to kill you, and you're the one they circle on the calendar, and it's a lot harder. So that'll be interesting with Max. I love Matt, but it's like when he goes to one of the factories, like Michigan, you're the hunted.
Oh, yeah.
You know, people want to take you out.
And he may stay at Iowa State. I mean, he's going to have his most talented team ever this year.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's going to win the most games, because if you look at those Iowa State games, they all come down to a field goal here, a turnover there.
Yeah.
You know, and if you have a kicker that kick goes wide left this week, and next week your running back fumbles on the 1 yard line going in, well then your 9-7 season, you know, or whatever it would be.
Yeah.
They play 12 games, 9-3. Now you're 7-5.
Yeah.
And it's that razor thin for Iowa State. They're not winning those games 48-3.
Yeah.
You know. But this will be his most talented team, so the time to bounce out of Iowa State is going to be now,
Yes.
in my opinion.
On your
Iron Side.
podcast, you talk about why some kids don't want to go to their hometown favorite school
Yeah.
because of the pressure, the expectations.
Oh yeah.
Expand on that a little
It's just
bit.
hard because I mean, you know, Ohio State. It's like great to get that offer, but you just don't want to be a bus. And you know, the bus rate is probably about 45-50% at least for kids that come into a college
They
or
don't
so.
wanna
And
look at their
yeah, I mean, it's great to go to Ohio State, but man, if you're the guy that is the guy that gets the offer, you go there, you never play. You know, they force you out. You know, they do the Saban thing and they roster manage you off the team. Like, did you really were you really an Ohio State player, or were you a guy that they missed on and they tried to get rid of as fast as possible? And I've talked to guys like AJ Hawk about that. I've talked to guys that were like Ohio kids, and that's a real thing. Like Pat Elfline.
Well, didn't that
Yeah.
drive you?
Oh,
Like you didn't want, you
Come
were
on.
dead set. You didn't want to be.
Oh,
you
my
weren't thinking
God.
I want to be an NFL player. You're thinking I
No.
don't want to be a bust.
I mean, I'm
I don't
telling
wanna
you,
go back
it's
to
the
Perry and
greatest,
everybody
it's the
makes fun of
greatest
me.
driver there is. 'Cause
Yeah.
you
I know you had
you
that.
don't want to fail. I mean, and like you kind of look at that sometimes, and like I don't think it's as big of a deal because I know that we're national recruiting power, which is great, but like sometimes man, you get a kid like Elfline who nobody really wanted. He's a 3-star kid. He's been in the NFL for like 7 years now, and I mean, Pat was a kid that was driven like that. You know, I mean, like guys like Billy Price were driven like that. You don't want to go home and be the guy that didn't play, didn't make it, didn't deserve the offer, should have went to, you know, Malone or, you know, Akron or nothing against those schools, but you're not worthy of the prestigious offer that everybody wants. So it's a double-edged sword, man, because I mean the pressure is immense, but it's worth it. You just have to manage it, and you have to, you know, you got to put in the work, man. It's like some of these guys, I just felt like you got to start working harder. You got to play better. If you're not playing up to stuff, man, you got to get the hammer down and get to where you need to be productive on the team. Especially if you're going into like year 2 or 3, they're trying to get you off the roster if you're not on the right bus. You know, they want to get you on the right bus, they want to get you in the right seat, or they want to get your ass off the bus. And it's like, you know, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a guy that's trying to get on the bus or a guy that's trying to get off the bus? I give that speech to kids all the time. So I'm like, some of you guys, you're not pulling your weight, and they don't just give you that sweatsuit to wear it. You got to actually perform when you're wearing it.
And David, to add to that, there are kids that want to get away from home and want to go out of state to college. We think it's so natural when the kid from Miami wants to come to Ohio State. We think it's beautiful, and we understand it, and we get it. But when that kid from Ohio wants to go somewhere else, like he's a traitor.
Wants to go to Clemson.
He's a traitor.
Yeah.
Total traitor.
Yeah.
He's we don't call the Florida kids that come to Ohio State. They're not traitors. They're smart and they're beautiful.
It's like
some kids want to go away to college.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Yeah, like Andre Walker. Yeah, Andre Walker.
Yeah.
It's the USC. It makes no sense. Every Glenville kid ever went to Ohio State that was worth their soul.
He had a lot of fun though.
I'm sure he did. And he didn't play a snap in the NFL either. So it's like
no, he did. He did play in the NFL
for how long?
A couple of weeks, I think, with the Dolphins, and I think he overslept for a 1:00 game. He actually overslept for
in an NFL game.
It's Miami. It's Miami. You'd be oversleeping at 1:00 too. Believe me.
Not if my paycheck depended on it. You can only pay for that Miami.
Yeah, he actually overslept for a home game. Yeah. True story.
You can't take them out of Glenville, but you can't take the Glenville out of them. I guess. What else y'all got?
Are you guys 100% sold on C.J. Stroud? And if you are, what recent quarterback is he most like?
I like him a lot. I think Quinn Ewers is better personally. If I evaluated them side by side in high school, but that's tough.
I like him too. We haven't seen him do anything.
Yeah,
I like him from what I like about him is what I saw 2 years ago in his high school film. Them days are gone.
Yeah,
them days are over, man. But I do like him. But I like him better I like him better when I see him play college football.
Yeah, I just want to see how he reacts when the pocket gets messy and see if they run a little bit more. Not a ton of read options with him, but like with Justin Fields, like his last year, you're not going to run him much. But when you got these young guys in there, you can run them, and that's an extra threat for all these defensive coordinators. They hate running quarterbacks, so I think they'll run a little bit. They don't need to be like a full read option team like other, but you run it a little bit. They still have to honor it. That's that we really got away from last year. Is that we'd fake the reads, but we never actually ran reads. So it's like Justin Fields runs a 4-3, but we never designed runs for him. And I'm not advocating turning to JT Barrett and hammer him, but I watch Kyler Murray, who's a Smurf, every week in the NFL, get 70 yards rushing, and he'll run 90 yards and slide, and it's a backbreaker because then it's 2nd and 1, or he'll bail somebody out. And if you take care of yourself and just slide, don't take the big hits, run out of bounds, like you crush defenses by doing that. And I think he could do that. I don't think he's a burner, but I think he's smart and he's efficient. That's the biggest thing, just stay ahead of the chains. Stay on schedule as you're going through first, second, and third down. Did you get anything? Was that an asshole when I played?
No.
Are you lying? You're lying. You're a liar. You're a liar.
I love you.
Nobody likes me, dude.
You're the guy that you wanted on the team.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anybody liked me though. It was different. Well, you're the man to treat us. It's my boy.
I'll send him your way.
I know. What you got? Go ahead, the hand up.
Oh, I was just going to say, we saw, obviously, Bama, Clemson, except Penn State. How about our friends up north? How are they going to do this year?
You're going to get my boy Yoder on another podcast.
I think they're going to crash and burn. I really do.
Yeah.
I didn't like their the switching around that staff like crazy, and they really hired a lot of guys that are supposedly great recruiters. I'm not seeing it yet, but then they're not. They're coaching positions they've never coached before. I mean, it's a mishmash. I just don't see it. I think it's over, and I think when it's over, much like we saw with John Cooper at Ohio State, there comes a point where it's over. It's not going to work, and you just have to accept it. I mean, and when you see the contract he signed, I mean, it's like the worst contract in college football. It's a contract that Nick Saban, Dabo Swinney, Ryan Day, they would laugh at a contract like that.
Oh, my God.
So that tells you the school doesn't believe in him.
Yeah.
That contract sat on his desk for 4 weeks while he was scouring that NFL for another job.
Yeah.
So they really didn't want him because they didn't commit to him. He doesn't really want to be there because he was looking for an NFL job. So that's just a mix. It's just not going to work, I think it's over there. I think they're going to go 7-5 this year. And then what did they do again? They're going to be sitting right where they were sitting a year ago. And I really think they're in trouble. I think that ship is just going to keep going down. I don't see it being turned around. And I was someone who was pretty high on Harbaugh early in his tenure. I mean, if you remember, he took Ohio State to the wire in Ohio, overtime game. You don't get the call on JT Barrett. I don't know if we got the first down or not, but it was close. And that game was an even game. Next year, up in Michigan, he's winning that game. and JT Barrett gets hurt. Haskins comes in, throws the ball over the field. Ohio State wins, but it was close. Then the very next year they come back to Ohio. Michigan was actually favored that day. Ohio State killed them. They killed Don Brown's defense, but Michigan was favored that day. So for a 3-year period there, it kind of looked like with Penn State, like they were crawling right up Ohio State's hind end there, and it was really getting close. Well, now no one looks at it that it's close. So the distance has been put out there, and I think it's over for Harbaugh. I think the sooner they just cut bait. I know he's one of their own. They probably hate to fire him, but I think it's over.
Yeah, I mean, hiring Sharon Moore to coach the offensive line, he's never coached the line before, was like just alarming. That's like a high school joke for me. I was just like, how can a guy who's never coached the offensive line be your O-line coach at Michigan? Like, you can't guess on the O-line. You got to coach 5 guys. It's got to be cohesive. If the O-line's bad, the whole thing is like vomit. That's like the thing we're told by Coach Meyer. It's like, the O-line sucks, man. You're not going to, nothing else matters. So hiring a guy that's never coached it and had to manage 5 guys at once, 5 personalities, settle the 9 deep or so that you need on the O-line. Like that was alarming. Had a great question on here. How does Texas SEC affect Ohio going into Texas to recruit?
I don't think it affects them at all because I don't think kids choose schools for the conference. I think that's Ohio State is still going to be Ohio State. Clemson's still going to be Ohio State. It makes the SEC stronger, obviously. Yeah. You added 2 powerhouse teams, but does it affect Ohio State per se? No, not at all. Not at all. Texas better be good. You know what I mean? Sure. They haven't been very good lately, and going in the SEC, now you're barking up a different tree.
A different animal.
So if hey, we're in the SEC. Yeah, but you went 6-6 last year. Ohio State's in the playoffs and undefeated. No, it won't. If they're good, it'll help Texas. If they're good in that league.
It'll be interesting to see who goes to the SEC, because if the SEC West stays as is, and you got Texas and Oklahoma to LSU, Bama.
I think they'll reshuffle.
They have to.
They're going to reshuffle.
Can you imagine play that schedule?
Yeah,
oh my God.
No, they'll reshuffle all that.
What else you guys got? Anything? We wrapped?
How many hours a week or a day are assistant coaches recruiting? Making calls,
oh my God,
texting.
It's a lot. I mean,
it varies by position.
And it probably varies what time of year it is. So like right now, they're probably cruising a little bit because their camps are over and the grind is going to start here in a couple of weeks. So right now they're cruising. That's probably the only time they get to cruise in 12 months of the year. But they put a lot of time into recruiting. I mean, we get text calls,
and Urban,
emails.
Urban was militant about it. I mean, he would check. He had like the family plan. Everybody's on the same family plan phone thing.
And he checked.
He had access. So he could check on, all right, this phone number, okay, that's Ed Warner. Okay, let's see his call log. Okay, he said he called, whoever, Jackson Carmen, whoever. And, okay, he said he talked to him for 30 minutes. Let's check the thing. Okay, there's his phone number, scroll over. Okay, 26 minutes. Okay, that's fair. Oh, it was only 2 minutes. Oh, so he lied to me.
Yeah.
I
had a coach tell me, won't say his name, I should, but I won't. But it was right after Urban took over, and he was like, "Did you talk to this player last night?" And the coach said, "Absolutely. We had a good talk." And Urban said, "Really? You were on the phone with him for 6 minutes. That's not a phone call. That does not count as a call. In my book, you never talked to him. So that's nothing. 6 minutes is not enough to establish anything. You never talked to him." And it was like,
it's a no call.
This is not the way Jim Tressel. This is not Jim Tressel again. But that was, that actually happened. I mean, and that person may be a head coach in the school down south in Ohio right now.
Bearcats.
Name could be Luther
Fickle.
Yes. That's a true story. It was Briante Dunn because he was recruiting that area, and that's a true story.
Yeah, I'm telling you, those coaches, especially Urban, was militant, man. You couldn't fudge your calls because they checked it. You had to log it. You had to put everything in. You had to, then Pantoni would check it, and then Urban would, get the final report of this is what the coach said, this is what actually happened, this is the report. And it's like everything is all just like one shade, but if there was like a red dot or something, that meant that there's a fudge between the two. Like he didn't really call this guy.
You didn't want a red dot.
Well, you just didn't want any marks. You just want everything like, okay, this is what he said, this is what happened, this checks out. It's like the CIA, man. It was no joke, man. Urban was the Cold War every day. So, you guys having fun on here? We got 110 people on here.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Awesome. What a great,
it's middle of the
day.
It was completely unannounced. So
yeah, what a
appreciate you guys.
Great day, man. Great day.
Anybody else? What's up?
Thank you for sharing the mystery quarterback in the portal with us. We really appreciate
Thank you,
that.
all the Scoop family. Found out the mystery of the quarterback that might start a game is not on the roster. My finest hour. That was the biggest. I know. That was the biggest thread on 11 Warriors where they said, this guy's an idiot. He's not an insider. He has no idea what he's doing.
I
We're
started
talking
that
about-
thread.
I know you did. I'm sure it was you, and I named about 3 other guys on the board that probably started it. Probably you, Tyler. I'm trying to think of who else the other 2 were. But it was
Might have
like-
been Penteric.
Yeah, it's probably Penteric. Just railing on me. He has no sources. I was like, oh my god. I've forgotten more sources than most of the people have in this industry. But
All right, dude.
So good.
You want to wrap it?
he said we put it on the Founders Club forum later. I'm gonna do that. It'll be on the Founders Club forum later. FoundersClub.com.
We'll get the special private message.
Yeah, we will. Appreciate you, Scoop fam. We got to head home, my man. Kicking us out. You guys are the best. And we will see you soon. Thank you, David Penteric, again, hosting us. Youngstown Country Club had a blast. We're gonna do a bunch of Scoop outings coming up. So y'all, if you miss this one, we're gonna do another one soon. All right, fam.